All right, welcome back. We're back with Ray of Ray's Boutique Rentals. So tell me, what is Ray's Boutique Rentals?
Yeah, absolutely. So this idea came out actually. I've been renting Airbnbs in the past. I managed 2 properties, and then I own one right now in Lawrence, Kansas. So it's not a boutique; it's just a regular. Even though I improved the property, I fixed it. It looks nice on the pictures for sure. But one of the things that came out, or helped me to come out with this boutique part or side is I'm actually in a current coaching program that I paid for, getting more skills. And then the guy was like, you need to get, into the boutique side because it's more specialized, people are looking for this type of services and then this type of one-to-one, connection instead of having, like a big companies. I don't want to mention names, but, let's say, for example, Vacasa, Evolve, Airbnb, or Verbo. So those are so big that when they are looking for somebody that actually is right there for you, they try to hit, the boutique market. So I, open this kind of website now, which is still in the process of getting better. But my goal is to, improve my property more and get it to this level, which, I know they probably have to put it maybe like for example, a hot tub in the back. Those are other services and amenities. Actually, that's the actual name for that. That will help customers to see your property as a high end property. Another thing is I've been actually targeting Phoenix market a little bit. I've been talking to people there, especially Scottsdale is so high end. You have properties, for like a super crazy, a nightly rate. And then to be there, you have to learn a lot of the things. And then that was one of the path for me to get into this business. But yeah, primarily that's what I kind of focusing on right now. Trying to improve my rental, get the website, fully live, so people can see, what I do. Also, my sister, she's been doing a lot of the real estate. So she had like a small business in Mexico. And then that was part of it's been, pushing me to get into more like the short term or even, mid-term or long-term rentals. But yeah, the boutique is just like something that I want to, get into.
So really focusing on the amenities available at properties that you're building in your portfolio.
Definitely, yeah.
Very cool. So like you said, you mentioned like a hot tub or amenity wise. Kind of give me some examples of your goals as far as amenities goes.
Definitely, yeah. As we talked, the hot tub is just like one example. But having even like a whole guide for the customers or the guests at this time, like a special services. For example, if they want like a taxi directly from the airport, provide that service to them, given like ideas how they can tour the city, those type of services which they're already in place with the Airbnb and then Verbo, Vacasa, they have it. But it's just let them know where they are, which ones are better, even get on the phone with them, and then having ready, even reserve a table for them. Those type of extra services. That's part of like a makes the boutique.
Right, like a full concierge service.
Yeah, like a full concierge. Yes,
during your visit.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So tell me about you. You live here in Kansas City, but tell me about your story.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm originally from Cuba. I didn't finish my college in Cuba because many people, know that Cuba, if you finish, you have to kind of be under the government wedges for 2 years. So my sister kind of, pushed me like, it's the time to leave. So she had a small business in Mexico. And then I moved from Cuba to Mexico for 1 year. I helped her a lot with the rentals there. It was amazing. Mexico, especially Cancun is really good for like the renting and then, short terms, all the vacation sites.
Tourism.
So I lived there, and then I immigrated to the United States a year after. It was legally. That was like I always tell to my friends, try to do it, the legal path, because is the right way to do it. So I came in 2013. I wasn't very fluent in English, even though I have my accent now. And then my sister also kind of pushed me to go to college, and then I finished, what I was living in Cuba. So I started at KU, University of Kansas.
Yeah.
And then I did the 1.5 years, maybe. I think I can remember now, but it was like a 1.5 years just, performing, like the English side, that was just pretty much like English classes, because that's how KU is set up. So you have to have like an academic level to start taking regular classes. So I did it for maybe a year and a half. And then I did the transition to regular classes. And then the funny part was I started business administration, but I'm not very good in the math part. So I was like, okay, I did a couple of the classes, and then I also transferred from Cuba like a 30 credit hour, so that helped me a lot.
That's awesome.
Then I started, kind of getting into the program a lot. I did a lot of the real estate, because that was kind of like my passion. But at the end, it was just like, this is not gonna be for me. So I switched majors right in like maybe another year and a half, but I did a good decision, I think. So I moved to the liberal arts department, and then I did a BA in international studies.
Okay.
With a minor in business, because I used all the college credits from the business administration major. And then I did my concentration thesis in Latin America, especially in Cancun, because I live there, so I can use my knowledge, or I used my knowledge from Cancun. It was, like how the tourism industry is working right now, in that market. But yeah, that's kind of what did. I finished KU, and then I moved to Kansas City 2.5 years ago. I bought my second property with the help of lending one, and then it was amazing experience. It was great. I got it, and then definitely I've been here for 2.5 years. I love KC. Maybe in the future I'm moving to Phoenix. That's kind of my goal. Or even if I can work maybe in both markets, which is going to be hard because you have to be back and forth from one city to another. But it's great. I love the people there. I love the people here. I've been back and forth to Cuba 3 times. Last time I couldn't go because I also worked for USCIS. People probably know that's the immigration department. I worked in the office. Let me just clarify that. I wasn't with ICE, so don't freak out if you see in the industries. But I worked that for like a couple months. I didn't like it, so I stepped out. And that's one of the things that I feel the passion for people. And then when I see, especially, the Latinos trying to, ask me for questions, I try to guide them. I can't give an advice too much, but I can still, guide them through the websites. And I helped my family that is actually here in Kansas City right now. My first generation cousins, I helped them with the wallpaper. I mean, the paperwork. I mean, just said it right. And then, that's kind of my little background between Cuba and the US.
Very cool. So, I mean, what inspired you to create a boutique rental experience rather than just your run-of-the-mill Airbnb experience? What's the drive behind the boutique piece?
For me, when I travel right now, I feel like that's a lack of connection between the host or the co-host or the manager and then the guest. Plus the high-end amenities, Sometimes, you're paying, even in college town, like people pay for my property maybe between $100 to maybe $200 a night. And then, they don't have the grid for kids, or they don't have extra things that they actually need for, for their states, and then make it, an amazing experience when they come to, college towns. That's one of the things that I really kind of push myself, like I need to improve. Plus I've seen, other people doing the boutique side, and then it's really amazing how they deal with, the customers or the guests, and then how they bring, this high-end properties into the market. So that's kind of like a push me to be a little bit more on top of other people that rent. Even though, a lot of cities right now, they're kind of struggling with, the lobbyists are pushing Airbnbs. I believe if you have your property, go back, see, the pictures. If the pictures are not like a high resolution, that's another thing. For being a boutique, you have to have high resolution. Other thing was the reviews. Reviews is very important for, when you are renting.
Yeah.
Especially because there are so many up there now. If you are not like a boutique or a specialized service,
Yeah.
and then your reviews are not over 4.9, you're gonna have 15 pages that these guests have to scroll or pass, and at the end of page 3 or 4, they're already tired. They're gonna just pick the first 1 or 2 or 3, whatever they saw in the beginning. Totally. And then that's another thing. When you are a boutique, you're gonna have more touch based and then high end and quality. So that's what people right now are kind of like, I feel like they're looking for.
That makes sense.
So that's what I push. Plus, I feel passion for renting. So I'm still learning, but I love the short-term rentals. It's just, I feel amazing when I get the phone and I get a regular people calling me back, and then they call me, hey, Ray, you have this, dates available. So it's a really incredible experience for me. And then I feel like I need to prove myself, and then, like giving a more what they're asking for, because then at the end they are so happy. They're like, oh my gosh, like even a bottle of wine. I got a regular guest. They came, I think it was last year. They are professors at KU, and then she loved Pinot Noirs. So I brought a bottle for her. I put it like a card at the front, and then she was so amazed that at the end she left me a 5-star review saying that was something that she wasn't expecting. When you're boutique, you always look for something better and then higher, so it gives your guest that connection.
That's whenever I worked in luxury retail, that was our thing, was surprise and delight the guest, right? Like, what can you do that's one step above and beyond what their expectations were, and you'll always stand out. So that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So you're pretty new to this. So tell me about what challenges you've seen so far and what successes you've seen so far in building your brand.
Definitely, yeah. It was really hard to get my first property, because at that time I was, during college. When you're in college, pretty much what you do is serving industry, right? To kind of support that money that you need for, your own expenses. And then finishing, your college, then you have to start building credit. Even for me, coming from a different country, at that time I didn't have my citizenship, so I gotta finish college, and then I was like, I'm ready for the first property, but then you have to show credit worthiness to the lender. You have to show your W-2s are enough, and then pretty much all the lenders at that time, I think it's still they do, when you have just serving industry job, they call unstable income. So it's really hard. But I got that first one, and then I got the second one here in Kansas City, and I believe after that, everything start coming, more like a smooth process for anyone. But yeah, you have to prove yourself, never give up. That's what I kind of pushed me to continue doing this. And then I really want to get more properties, and then that's part of the coaching now, getting more, even though I own it or I manage them. And then there is one lady that I talked last week. She lives in Phoenix. Her property is on Bacasa, especially. Sorry for saying this, but there is not like a higher reviews for her, and then she's trying to look for something else, more like a boutique specialized service. So I talked to her. She's thinking about it. Maybe I can get that and I can manage it. There are a lot of improvement that we have to do. One of the things, like she needs a hot tub, even though Phoenix is super hot during summer. Everyone has a hot tub, like a high-end properties. So that's one of the things that we have to work on. We also have to change the Victorian style, because to be like a high-end and a boutique, a lot of the comments or the reviews were coming from like a dusty house and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So it's just research your market, see the competition, see what all these boutique people are doing, kind of follow that,
Yeah.
and then improve it or implement it in your business. So
Mhm.
that's what I try to do now.
Yeah.
It's actually working. And then is connections, and then how you deal with everything in a
Mhm.
daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned your experience in hospitality. What have you been able to take from that? Like you're serving and service industry jobs that you can use here.
Yeah, in Cuba my major was tourism.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't explain. I didn't say at the beginning. It was coming from the background far back in Cuba. I was working for Melia Cohiba company, which is one of the hotels, big companies from Spain.
Mhm.
I was right there working as a I can't remember what's the name of the major in Cuba, but anyways, it's like just hospitality.
Yeah.
So that again helping my sister with the check-in, check-outs, and all the properties, talking to customers, and then talking to people, talking to people from different countries. That was really great experience for me. And then coming to the US, college, learning a different language, meeting people from all over the world, because KU is international university. So
Mhm.
you meet people from all over the world. That kind of pushed me more to be more in this business. And then the communication is the key. I
Mhm.
believe that might take away from my business.
Mhm.
My goal is to answer quick. Even if I can, I try to send a message to the guest, because they are in a hurry. Sometimes they're stressed out. They've been
Mhm.
dealing with their own family problems and stuff, so they are sitting on the computer. They want to book. They
Yeah.
can deal with other things, and then they start clicking and then send a message. Like I got one last week, like, hey Ray, I need these dates for my daughter that she's leaving town. And then if you don't answer quick, then they're gonna pick a different one quick.
Mhm.
So my goal is to be responsive for that, and then
Mhm.
get that connection right away, and then avoid that they move to a different manager or
Yeah. A different
or
provider
a
for
host.
sure.
Yeah.
So on your website, there's a highlight reel there's testimonials that are above a 5-star feeling. So tell me about these guests that have left these, maybe your favorite guest that's left a positive review for you.
I really like the one of the ones that I didn't have that, because the boutique website is completely separate from my personal own Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
They love, as I said before, the communication. You have to communicate. So I have, like I'm fluent in Spanish and English. And then one of the guys, he couldn't communicate very well in English.
Mhm.
So I said, if you want to just do it in Spanish, we can do it in Spanish. And then we talked in Spanish. I called them, and then they were looking for, I think, 2 or 3 nights.
Mhm.
We helped them, getting those 3 nights, and then we provide the service that they looking for. I mean, or they were looking for, and that's one of that's what happens. You get the 5 stars review.
Yeah.
And then in my own one, which is in Lawrence, I got people from like exchange professors.
Mhm.
So when they rent for like let's say a month, they want everything ready for them,
Mhm.
because they are coming from different states, so they can deal with not having like a set of silverwares or stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
So I try to make sure that also I cover everything that they need before they come.
Mhm.
Like I make a list. I send them back to them like, hey, with boxes, like if there is something that I didn't list it, just reply back to me that you want it,
Mhm.
and then we can work. Sometimes they ask for random things, like it costs money for us, on the management side, but we can always try to accommodate
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
guests,
yeah.
because that's what at the end of the day gives you these testimonials. People are happy, and then the main thing for me is like they come back.
Mhm.
So that's my goal. They come back, and then they always call me Ray. Thank you so much, or so that's my my happiness. So
Yeah. Love it. So I know whenever we talked about doing this that you wanted to focus on all sorts of different things. So I just wanted to get you introduced today, but what can we expect from future episodes with you?
Absolutely, yeah. So we talked about it. My first one is like, this one now for sure, introduce myself. My goal, I set up 3 goals, because it's so hard to struggle when you struggle, like living a job, dealing with, financials and other things, like job stuff related to your life is hard. So I set up 3 goals for this year, which I hope. One is setting up the boutique rental website. It's already, almost done. Getting more clients. That's one of my first one. Second one is getting my real estate license, because I've been pushing back this goal. And then I do a lot of the flip or, management side. And then I really want to get more into the real estate. So I really think a real estate license is going to help me a lot, even for like a selling or buying another property on my own personal life. Yeah, that would be helpful for me. And the third one is having a live Latino channel where it would be more like they can bring their life into me, so I can maybe try to help them.
Yeah.
I will do the best that I can do to help them. Either I've been talking to immigration lawyers that I met in the past. Some of them, they are willing. They are like, hey, whenever you have your channel ready or up, or live, we can, stop by and then, talk.
Awesome.
I would love having, the Latino community, especially those, that they don't have paper. The day that I'm setting up, I'm bringing these immigration lawyers, they can, jump into the channel or even, maybe they can do phone calls and then talk to the lawyers, So that's my 3 goals for this year. I got one kind of almost done. The second one is my real estate license, which I'm super close to finish it. And then the third one would be having that, tight feeling Latino channel for conversations and
kind of an open forum for people that need or want to gain some more clarity on the immigration process. And
that would be one topic. Maybe I can bring another one for like bring like I introduce myself. They can introduce themselves. They can talk what they have achieved in the US, how hard it's been for them, whether or not they have papers or legal paper in the US. Or there could be I got friends in Spain, and I see this, couple that actually has been successful. And then I asked them for if we can actually bring that story, into my channel. So other people, around the world, if they've, they kind of follow my channel, they can still listen to this type of conversation, and maybe it could be, it could be a resource for them, because somebody that says, how they set up, for example, their LLC, that could be helpful for somebody else, somebody that, maybe talks about how they immigrated to Canada, somebody can see, the same pattern and then try to follow that because they are in the same process. So I really think this type of channel will help a lot of people. It won't be focusing on one topic. It would be like a general. I would probably have open, like whatever they want to talk one day.
Beautiful.
We can set it up and then we can just, talk about it.
Yeah. Heck, with the software that we use, we can invite people from anywhere in the world really to join in and chat with us.
And I really want to thank you for having me today, Ryan. I've been working with you for a while. Thank you so much, because let me just go back. Ryan helped me to get my second property loan. So that was one of the greatest, experience. The process was amazing between the lender, you, and then the whole team. It was really, really good. I didn't have any troubles at all. It was just sending what you guys, needed. So I'm so hopeful that I got you guys.
I love it. That's good to hear. We love whenever we make people smile. But
absolutely
awesome. Well, thanks for coming today, and we'll look forward to doing this again very soon.
Thank you.
All right.